Hi, Bert.
Hey Mizzy, what's up?
Good. How are you doing?
Uh, Doing well. Like a bit overwhelmed with the amount of like messages, calls, and emails and responses I've received. But I'm actually quite excited. Like it's a pleasant type of overwhelming, and it feels weird to be out of the fish tank in the RV and not worry about constant cameras being on me 24/7. So it's kind of like getting used to also having my phone again.
Yeah, it's so nice to see you. I miss you already, so it's great to be
Oh,
able to
thank you.
catch up and see your face. I'm gonna miss all of the nonsense, all of your stories, all of your solving Bert's mysteries. That was a memory I'm never gonna forget and something that
Yeah.
I don't take for granted. So yeah, we're just gonna get in here, ask you some questions. How
Cool.
do you feel being the winner of Fish Tank Season 3?
Uh, it was it was like amazing. Like I actually won. Um, I was trying to wonder. I was like the whole time within fishing, I was trying to figure out how does this game work, how to strategize to win. I was like trying to separate the nonsense from the real shit, but it was difficult to do because like of all the constant gaslighting and misleading and red herrings. But uh, I did realize like some things were consistent, like basically paying attention to what the other contestants are doing and for what production seems to be leading into. Like most of the times they have me just do complete fucking nonsense, but I realized but doing the nonsense was something that the audience seems to like me doing. Like they liked me seeing me spiral. So I kind of like low key played into it because this is clearly what they wanted. And production was kind of like guiding me in that direction.
Hmm.
Because a lot of time I was like trying to figure out what should I be doing? What is the theme? Like what am I supposed to be doing to like engage the audience? Because remember Sam as Jeremy Jason, he said early on that we have to be entertaining, we have to be exciting, fun, memorable. Like uh, one of the clues I noticed, like in terms of, like how to like be engaging, was watching Alex B. He was like wild, crazy, full of energy, and he did some problematic stuff, or I thought was problematic, saying the N word, but yet it was like he said it repeatedly, but yet somehow that was like fine. He never got in any like serious trouble, got kicked off the show for that. And then Luke, when he smashed pumpkins and then attacked Sybil, he like when he came back for the reboot, like he became like a fan favorite. I guess because he was memorable for that. And then it's like shock value, like memorable shock value entertainment is what this show is pretty much about. And so therefore doing something that's like considered problematic, but in a way that's like shock value entertainment was the key to winning. So like I suspected like after the second to third week that like I was trying to figure out like what the angle of the show was, because I realized like basically doing problematic ass shit in a way that's engaging was the key.
Yeah.
So I just leaned into it and just kind of like read the vibe of what is acceptable, what's not acceptable, and just like trusted my like kind of like went with my instincts from there.
Is your phone on silent?
Oh fuck yeah, I'm sorry. Let me just
No, you're good.
I think yeah, I've been getting sorry, all kinds of like notifications. Let me turn that off. To summarize, being like shock value, memorable entertainment was what the show was looking for. They didn't want us to just be laying around having casual conversations, be boring.
Hmm.
The key was to be memorable, exciting, engaging, entertaining. So that's what I was like trying to like adjust my personality to be like based on the cues of the TTS and the production team and also the contestants.
That's really, really smart of you. I think that it was hard for me also because I tried to be interesting, and a lot of the cast at the time they didn't want, everything was very problematic for them. So I
Yeah,
respect the fact that you completely own that and won your way to victory. I think that you were
yeah,
so entertaining. Uh, if I was a watcher at home, I would have just been completely zoomed in on watching you. It was incredible to see how you were just able to connect to the TTS so well from even day one when you thought it was just a computer, when you thought it was AI, and you did
yeah.
you just interacted with it 24/7. That's insane, but it worked in your favor. I think it
Yeah.
made people love you, and they got to see your personality really shine through.
Yeah, in the beginning, I didn't understand exactly what type of AI was because I've used AI before, like ChatGPT, and also I have a master's degree in data science, so I understand like how computer programming and AI works. But the thing with the famous house AI was like it was unlike anything I ever heard of, so it just fascinated me. I wanted to know more about it, so I wanted to ask it so many questions, try to see like what type of like methodology it uses to compute its responses, and then it was saying stuff which I thought was really out there, like it said like for example like it can tell my heart got faster when I was talking to Alex. I was like, it's like it knows that I'm attracted to Alex. Like how the fuck does it know that? But I realized it's like the audience must have picked up on me, like I guess smiling at him and um giving him like I guess bedroom eyes. So it's like oh I was like oh, then I realized oh that's how they figured out it was my heart rate or whatever. And
Yeah.
it did, and it diagnosed, and I guess it may possibly misdiagnosed Alex as having schizoaffective disorder because I implied he might have had it because of how he was acting similar to me in a way when I'm not fully medicated. And then I guess I was like trying to figure out like how does this AI thing work? Like what type of methodology uses the computer's responses? I was asking so many questions. I was trying to like gauge how it responds to like technical questions, how it responds to opinion questions, open-ended questions. I was trying to like analyze it, and then noticing the responses were kind of weird, not like a traditional AI response. It was kind of like more like colloquial, like a casual internet user speaking. I was like, what kind of methodology is this? Because I didn't assume because like I did not believe that I don't know, like it just didn't occur to me like the production crew would be like lying deliberately about the AI thing being like I think when it says AI, I assumed it was AI because like I didn't know what else it could be at the point. I didn't because that at that point I didn't understand the concept of TTS talk to text thing. So I just assumed it was like some weird um state of the art like in testing phase AI product that they're gonna like put in homes across the USA.
Hmm.
That was like my assumption.
Did you? How did you feel when you found out it was TTS and it was just a live audience? How was that switch for you?
I was like, oh fuck me. I was like, so this, oh my God. So that was just, I was like, so the audience was the ones that was saying all that shit to me. And it wasn't really some type of computer algorithm. And they were just dicking around with me.
Hmm.
And, but the thing is, like, well, I realized this, but then it's like, it still continued now that we knew the twist. That was the thing I was like, found interesting. It was like, so we know that this was just computer, this computer thing was just the audience talking to us and just fucking around with us, but yet they kept it going after the twist. That was the thing I found weird. It's like, why keep it going if we know that's all bullshit? But
Hmm.
then I realized like it may be bullshit, but it's like I feel like we're supposed to continue to interact with it anyway because it still kept playing continuously, even when we were having our challenges and exercises and stuff. It would still blare it continuously like randomly and like say a bunch of stuff. Like sometimes like I noticed that it progressively got from saying like normal responses to progressively more unhinged, weird responses,
Yeah.
including just like random sounds, music, nonsensical gibberish, and loud, like loud ear crickling sounds. Like what the fuck? And then it got progressively more vulgar with his cuss words and insults. I
Hmm.
was like, what? I was like, what the fuck is going on with this thing? But it's like, but they still continued to have it play inside the house, despite how disruptive and problematic it was. And then when we started getting all those weird random gifts like plushies, roses, handcuffing, sprays to the face, donuts, I was like, what is going? Like, it was like, it's like they kept throwing new shit at us, eat like almost every day, and I couldn't have any idea what the hell was going on. Try to figure out the consistent patterns, but then it's like I realized that it's just random nonsense. But the point is, it's supposed to be shock value, high energy entertainment, and that we're supposed to just like go along with it. I know everyone was just kind of like ignoring it, like, huh, it's just like no big deal. But I was being the most vocal about it, and I feel like that kind of like maybe set me apart from everyone else because like I was one that was noticing all the weird shit going on and commenting loudly about how nonsensical it was,
Hmm.
and the audience was just I think they just loved it. And I was a little confused why the other fish weren't like don't didn't seem to care at all about what the TTS was saying. They were just ignoring it completely. While I was like one engaging with it, like making like this hand gesture, like
That was so funny.
yeah,
Like
like
that was
it was like
iconic.
a yeah. That was like it sounded like a psychic vision face. Like that was kind of
Oh,
like
that's what you were doing. I thought you were scared.
yeah, yeah. It was at first I was genuinely scared when I heard that sound. It was like a loud abrupt sound, and I don't like to fuck with like loud abrupt sounds. Like it's like jump scares to me.
Yeah,
But
for
then it's
sure.
like as I got used to it, I started like trying to like hone in on like a signature gesture for when it sounded, so that in case people are talking over it, I can make it clear to the audience that I heard it say something, but like
Wow.
I just can make out what it says. Sometimes it'll be like going about like like trying to like follow the conversation. All of a sudden like
That's really
and then I couldn't
smart.
yeah, and if I couldn't hear it or if like people were talking over it, I couldn't hear it, I'd be like to show that like whatever
Wow.
they said did not go through.
You,
Because it's hard for because I realized the audience was like looking down on us from the top down perspective,
mhm.
and over the conversation, I actually heard what their message go through. So I was trying to make it clear that yes, your message came through, but like it's inaudible because everyone else was fucking talking over it.
Wow, that's really smart. You never cease to amaze me on how
Yeah,
smart you truly are. I think some people underestimate how smart you really are. Um,
yeah.
in living with you and watching you on this journey, I think personally, I think you're incredibly smart. How did your family respond to you when you first exited Fishtank? How was that getting back in contact with them?
I called them on my phone. They were surprised I won the competition. They didn't even they apparently had no idea what phishing was or that was I was even on the internet in a really big way because my family doesn't really like they're not like social media people. They don't go on the internet. Like ironically, as clueless as I am about social media and how the internet works, I'm actually the most knowledgeable about the internet compared to everyone else in my family. So they just thought I was like on some type of like 6 week vacation away from the house. Like and like I told them it was a reality show, but I didn't understand what it was because so they really didn't understand what it was. But then I tried to explain to them what it was, and I realized it was really difficult too. So I just showed them like I just sent them links to the articles and the clips, and they were like, "What the hell is this? I don't get it." So like that's gonna be difficult to try to explain what it is because even like now it's like I lived through it for 6 weeks, but even I can't actually explain what fish tank exactly is.
Yeah,
I just yeah.
that's true. So they are having a positive response, you would say now that you told them about
Uh,
it?
yeah, I haven't like completely delved in specifics like how I was like kind of like fucking around with my medication to put me in a manic
Mm-hmm.
state of mind to make me naturally more energetic, engaging, and hypersensitive to stimuli because I noticed that Alex B was kind of like a jittery like spark plug, and I wanted to mimic his energy but in my own unique way. So like I remember I was like giving Alex supplements to help him chill out and sleep, but the production told me to stop doing that. I was confused because I was like, he's more tolerable, he's like less annoying. But I was like, but I realized like they want him to be crazy, zany, and irritating, so to speak, because like that's what the audience liked. It's entertaining for them to watch. I was like, oh, okay. So it's like, so I should be the similar way. So I kind of like with Alex. Try like I was like wanted to be his friend, but also wanted like to study his behavior to understand like why he was so engaging to the production and to the audience. Like why Fresh kept calling him down for like special scenes and stuff. I was like, okay, so like he's like out of all like at the time in the beginning, out of all the people, all the fish in the tank, he was by far the most memorable, zany, crazy, erratic one, which made him stood out. And then I sort of like, sort of like fucking my medication, like depriving myself of sleep so that I could be more amped up, zany, kind of nutty. And I guess I somehow ironically surpassed Alex in like kooky, crazy behavior.
Yeah.
So like I think,
That's so great. I That's another point of just how smart you are that you picked that up from production that they wanted you to act crazier, so you literally stopped taking all of your meds so it would induce kind of a psychosis, and that's
yeah,
really smart. You really won the audience over with just
yeah,
how you were on the show. So making yourself even more manic ended up being kind of genius in a way, and you knew
yeah,
that. That's
yeah,
and you held that from everyone until you literally told us in
That was long.
Vegas after the show ended. You had mentioned that you you had this, you did this intentionally, and
Yeah.
that's very smart, and I'm very impressed. How did you respond to your social media presence when you returned and you got your phone back?
Um, my phone was blowing up with like text messages, emails, and like messages on my Daddy Burt social media. But I noticed there were frequent responses for me to like make a safer work account on Twitter, Instagram, and the others. I made one for Twitter already, and I'm like, oh, X, and I've become more active in the last few hours, trying to like post some like recent pictures of myself, like answer a few other questions the audience had about certain things, like the whole I'm not sure you've heard like I guess you weren't around. I guess but you probably heard online the mind wipe incident where I pretended that I had like erased my memory of the first 4 weeks of Fishtank Famous House, and I went in completely like I like I'm clueless. I I knew what was going on the whole time. I was just fucking with production to get back at them for gaslighting me in the beginning. So like I was like gaslight them right back.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great, Bert. That is so iconic. It's so cool to hear these thoughts that were going on behind the scenes that no one knew, and you really held through until the camera stopped rolling, um,
yeah.
which is incredible.
I realized the only time I had any real privacy away from the cameras was like going to the bathroom, which I know there was I realized there was a microphone that could hear what I was saying. So like I would like take my back. I'm not sure if you saw like some of the clips. I would take my backpack into the bathroom and stay there for a long time because I was like writing down my secret thoughts in the notebook in the bathroom away from the cameras because I knew I couldn't like say it out loud because the TTS will announce my thoughts to other people. So like I went like for the thoughts that were secret, I had to like make sure write it down like keep my mouth shut, writing it down,
Yep.
like analyzing some stuff. And put in like a secret notebook that no one knew about. And I had like dummy notebooks where I just write random nonsense from the TTS to try to like fool people and thinking that I was like kind of going nutty. Like I think it also had that serial killer wall that they gave me to where I wrote random shit. Like some of it was like I knew some of it was like nonsensical, but I just wrote it down anyway to help sell the ruse. Yeah,
Yeah, so you were telling me about your board, and when they brought you that board, that's kind of when it clicked. Wow, production wants me to be crazy. They want I'm just gonna feed into the delusion. Can you talk about that a
yeah.
little bit?
Yeah, like I remember I was like talking about like some of the nonsense I was saying, like about how I thought it was like a male dating show, which I realized now I can't be because like there's so many women here and like and the guys are not, and I'm the only one that's openly queer with the exception of like LeRon and everyone. So everyone's just give off minor vibes or just like or otherwise closet. It was like, but then I was talking about like I was just like reminiscing how you say that you were studying to be a cop, gonna try and be a cop, but then just didn't go through with it. Then Con was next cop, and then how Payne was 19, but I thought she was like maybe possibly a minor. And then when the police came to the house, like I think the second or third day, I was like I got temporarily got in my head this was like some type of like made to catch a criminal type of show, undercover show or something, and that the way the people were leaving, like what was it? Uh, Ted, Smack, the people that we didn't see leave, but like we're told that they got hurt or whatever, that they were actually taken away to some type of like jail cell where they were like being waiting sentencing for prison. And then when I said that, all of a sudden this camera crew came in recording me. I was like, what the fuck? Then they gave me the board and then the papers, the push pins, and then they said like to write my thoughts on the board. I was like, okay. But when they gave the red string and told me to take pictures of everyone and put it on the like and match the red string with the picture, I was like, the fuck did it? I was like, that sounds like some movie serial killer shit. I was like, oh, okay, that's what they want me to do. I was like, and the audience was, and the TTS was kind of like encouraging me to write that shit. So I was like, okay, this is something that the production and the TTS and the audience wants me to do. So like, okay, just go with it. You know, like, I realized that that theory probably was not sensible. Like, but I was like, just okay, just play along with it. I kind of like use my imagination to come with like a plausible scenario for that specific theory. That's why like one of my favorite theories I had in the list of nonsensical theories I had about what Fish Tank Famous House was. That it was an undercover to catch a criminal type of show because I feel like that was probably the one that could have been the most plausible based on the events that actually occurred in the house. You know, the fact you remember you and Connor were like kind of like buddy, and but then
Hmm.
he had a crush on you. That's why he was like kind of getting close to you. So like it's like it just seemed like like if like that would be like an alternative like alternate universe like explanation for what Fish Tank was. Yeah.
That is so
The,
funny. I remember when you came up with that theory, I was just like, this is crazy. And then they brought you all of this stuff, and it was cool to watch for sure.
yeah.
I enjoyed seeing you investigate and come up with all the theories. It was
Yeah.
really entertaining. What did you think about the fish tank reveal and famous house? What did you think about all of it?
The reveal that that famous house wasn't really what it was. I knew that early on that this was not what it appeared to be, but I just have any clear idea of what exactly it was. But I knew like whatever they said famous house was could not possibly be true based on the evidence I was noticing around the house, the way production was, the way the the AI was acting like this is not what it seems to be. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I realized I was getting major good place vibes, where it's
Yeah.
like you seem like they tell you, oh, you're actually in this place, but it's actually something else entirely. And in a way, it kind of was like the good place because like we thought we were like in a nice wholesome famous house documentary type thing or whatever, and then it turns out to be this shit show called Fish Tank, was basically a high octane nonsensical like comedic farce where we do all kinds of nonsensical bullshit just to entertain an audience full of like insane people who actually get off on seeing people do fucked up shit for money.
Yeah, that's
I
funny
was
because
like,
it's crazy. I actually had the same thought that it was like the good place. It's kind of the same exact thought I had going into it. So when you said that, I'm like, this is so right. It's literally like the good place. I love that show. And I
yeah,
remember, like, oh, yeah, we're going to get you food, but they'd always forget stuff or never get enough quantities of stuff. Or
yeah,
with the bath towels, like we were asking for bath towels for weeks, like or for like days and days before they got us them,
yeah,
and they would just bring either like almost enough, like food, or almost, like there was
yeah.
always enough food, but let's say we asked for something specific, it was like it was just
Getting
so
ignored.
yeah, it was just so funny. And even with the pictures on the fridge, I just thought that was really weird. I was like, no, it's so simple to get images and print out all 12 of us. Why would they only pick four of us? And I
Yeah,
remember just kind of being like, something's off. And I wanted to tell you so bad that you were right, but we had
yeah,
the whole production bringing me downstairs, and now you know that that's
yeah,
all real, and that
yeah.
I actually was spiraling the same way you were the first few days. I was losing it so bad that they thought I knew what the show was, and they almost
Um,
pulled me out of the show. So
oh,
I basically, when there's no clips of me downstairs, but when I was downstairs, they said I had to make sure if anyone came to me with these suspicions that I shut it down. And you were the only
oh,
person who figured it out. And I remember running into the confessional at one point and be like, dude, Bert is so smart. He has this whole shit figured out and I can't tell him and it sucks. It was
oh,
hard, but I didn't want to get in trouble. I also didn't want you to go home. I didn't want to ruin the
yeah.
show. So
I in retrospect, I appreciate you for doing that because if I knew what it was, then I would have been like kicked off for like knowing it in advance and not and having like an unfair advantage over I guess the other people. So like Ted, like the weird thing is like Ted, you and Ted were like the two first people I felt the most connected to, and Ted knew what the show was from the very beginning, and you suspected it and they told you what it was, and it's like I naturally gravitated to the two of you like almost instantly. I was like that was kind of like I thought I was like that's interesting. Like it
yeah.
was like maybe it's just my intuition like that you guess maybe like you guys knew what it. I mean Ted I had no idea knew what it was. He just seemed like a cool bro to like be like a comedic foil so to speak. I thought it was like like a bromance or showmance type of thing, where it's like they get two people who are like totally disparate or diverse and have them be friends for like that comedic what's it called odd couple vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I was like
you and Ted were really
uh
cute as friends.
yeah, yeah. Then then I invited him to Vegas after one of the dance contests, and he said he was flat out wasn't into like being that way with me. I was like, okay, cool. Then he like they say he like broke his wrist,
Hmm.
and I was like really devastated. I was like, holy shit! Like we were gonna just share the penthouse together. Like we never got a chance to have a night together in the penthouse.
Yeah.
So that devastated me. And
I
then
I was so scared. So whenever we did that challenge downstairs where we were like working out for the DNA test,
Yeah,
that's the day after I found out about, I think it was that day or the day before, but I had just found out about that we weren't on Famous House. And well, I already had known that based on suspicion, but like when
yeah,
they pulled me downstairs and Sam, Jeremy, Jason,
yeah.
he got my journal and had them go through it. And so I was being a diva and I really wanted an apology. And I remember him coming in like, oh, let's do this promo. And I was like, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
and he's like, all right, now hit the bag as hard as you can. And I'm like, am I done yet? Like, and he's like, no, so like put everything in it and yell when you're hitting the punching bag. And I'm just like, dude, like I don't want to do this. I was so on edge, and he got so mad. Like I think he almost kicked me off the show. To be honest,
Oh,
I think I made him pretty mad.
oh,
And then he he just was like, all right, we'll get someone better for this. And then they ended up pulling Ted down, and Ted disappeared. And I was sitting there like so confused again. I didn't know much. All I knew is that we were live and that we weren't on
yeah.
Hulu. I didn't know anything else. So I still was trying to figure out what was going on. And
Oh,
I was genuinely also freaked out when Ted was pulled, and
yeah.
I didn't know what to think about it. So yeah, but Ted is. I wish we got to have Ted in there a little longer. I think he was a great energy in the house.
Yeah.
He was a sweet guy. I wish he made it very obvious. I think that now looking back, that he knew what Fishtank was, because I remember even in the beginning he wanted to create chaos or whatever word he used. I remember he was like, "Well, I want to throw a vote off like for no reason. I just want to create disruption." And I was just like, "Why would he do that?" And then when he was like, "Oh, I want to give candy to the person who isn't doesn't have immunity to help." Like he just was like, now looking
So,
back, it's because he knew what fish tank was, and he was trying to create,
like
like a
interesting,
interesting,
like
yeah.
vibe.
So it makes sense now. I remember
Yeah.
me and him had a good night. Like we stayed up and talked and stuff. It was cool.
Thing about Tez, like, I know something that was like kind of odd. Like, he would do like a little song or whatever, and he would get like what he wanted. Like, for example, beer. So I felt like, okay, interesting. Like, what I think to what I thought was AI, and then he would say something like he doesn't like to be complimented. Like when I say something like he's a sweet, handsome guy, like he seemed bothered by that. But then, like in retrospect, I realized first of all, the whole doing the song to get beer thing is like because he was talking to the audience to who will signal to the production crew to get the contestants like what they want. Like sometimes I would like I remember later on I would like complain like sometimes I would like after the cell challenge my arm was hurting, my elbow was hurting badly, and I was kind of like, oh, my elbow hurts, and all of a sudden the production came in with like a frozen pack of peas to ice my elbow. I was like, how the fuck did he know that? It was like,
Yeah.
and then I remember Ted's thing about saying like kind of like singing what he wanted, and then like he gets beer. I was like, oh, okay, they're actively listening at all times, and they
Mm-hmm.
listen to requests.
It was crazy. I remember me and Alexis were talking about hangers, and literally they bring hangers. We were talking about our light being broken. They came and fixed it. It was so interesting, uh, the way that they were watching and listening 24/7. Um,
Yeah.
between all of the contestants, who did you love and hate the most?
Out of the original 12, the one I loved the most was Alex, and I was like devastated when I found that he left the show for real. Because the thing is, the day before he left the show for real, they made this whole display with his wife and his stepdaughter, and that he was gonna leave the show, but then they had Binks leave, and then she returned like an hour later. So when Alex and Connor left the house, I assumed it was the same bullshit again. So I didn't really take it too seriously or fight too hard to keep Alex in the house because I thought it was just like an act for the
Mm-hmm.
cameras. But then when I found that he was gone for good and was not coming back at all, I was like, oh fuck, he's really gone. Oh, like Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
like it's real. Like that was one of the most difficult things about the show is not knowing what is just an act for the cameras and what is actually real. This was the thing I was having major trouble discerning the difference between because sometimes like holy fuck, it would seem so real, and sometimes I think this is bullshit, but then it turns out to be real. Like for example, the Donald Trump phone call thingy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they said at first, I feel like, oh, that's not Donald Trump on the phone. That's bullshit. But then they said, oh, it's really him. I was like, oh my god, that was him. Like I assaulted him on live on the internet. I was like, holy fuck. So they had to say this apology thing, the confessional, and wear the MAGA hat. And then later on, they told me they're like, oh, that wasn't Donald Trump. We're just fucking with you. I was like, you motherfuckers. like
Yeah,
like
they did
ugh, the
that a
constant
lot.
gaslighting. Yeah.
Who did you like the least from the
Oh, like
season?
the least. Out of the original 12, I guess it would be by default Ian,
Okay.
because for this reason, he was not engaging in the beginning, and then when he was brought back, he just became like a problematic nuisance to the point that even the production team and the audience wanted him out of the house. And I remember the TTS audience was like urging me to like constantly like go to him to reprimand him for his use of the N word, which clearly this is something that they did not appreciate, and they wanted me to resolve it as, I guess, the only black man in a black person in the room in the house at the time
Mm-hmm.
to be the one to do it, because I feel like I think they believe that if it came from me, an actual African American male, that it would be he would take it seriously. So I was like trying to like I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't want to cause conflict, but like this is something that the audience wanted me to do, so I feel like I had an obligation to do it.
Yeah.
So like I confronted him, and then he was just ignoring me, which got me really mad for real. At first, I was just confronting him because like the audience wanted me to, but then like I was getting actually upset and annoyed by like how he's just not engaging with it. I'm like, so I was like, get the fuck up! Like I was like, I was like trying to push the damn bed. Like it was just being
Yeah.
unresponsive.
Yeah.
Like thing is, like I noticed like with the TTS, even if it's nonsense, if it's repeated, isn't it repeating something over and over again? It means like this isn't that the audience clearly wants to happen or wants someone to do it. So like a repeated message over and over again means that this is important. Like so, do it even if it's even don't understand why you're doing it. Just do it because it's something that the audience wants to happen. Because it was like the audience is the one that controls how this show goes on from each day forward. It controls what type of challenges we have, who's the team captains, who, and also I know it has some influence on who wins the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically, like, I know some challenges like it's based mostly on like who was like the most entertaining or the most engaging, not necessarily who actually won by point value, is by who the audience believes is the winner. And then I think Sam realizes this at some point and then decides to like say like, well, the audience said this person, but we're gonna say is this person is the winner,
Yeah.
because they didn't want. I think because I think I pointed this out to them, like I think more to the TTS, and they didn't want to. I guess they didn't want like bias in some of these things, so like they altered who the winner was based on what the Sam believes should be the winner.
Mm-hmm.
And I did was very vocal, like how in the beginning that it was only the males who were winning competitions, the males who were chosen as captain, the
Mm-hmm.
males who were chosen to do those monologue scenes. Like I remember I did one as the fire chief of the house. Then I think Sybil did one in his speech, and then Ted did one where he was saying the speech, and it was the females were kind of like being ignored or like just seen as like decorations, so to speak. To the point I was like wondering, why is this such a male emphasis in this show? And I realized the show must be primarily a male audience, like, and especially like I don't know, this is like kind of like a meme at this point. Meme constantly mentioning dude wipes, Mr. Beast chocolate, and Manscaped. And I found later the hymns was deliberately done because they noticed the whole male theme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When Binks attacked you on the show, did you feel like that's when you were at your lowest point?
yeah. Um, because I didn't get what was happening. I didn't understand if this was a like a bit thing for the camera or if this was legitimate. But it felt real, and I guess reacted like it was real because it just seemed out of pocket, out of nowhere, with no warning or like build up to it. So I didn't understand what was happening. So I just kind of like broke down. And this was kind of like after I was like, kind of like already like off my usual like routine of medication. So like I guess everything felt so hypersensitive and emotional at that time because like one of my what my medicine and cocktails and supplements does is like when it chills me out by like lowering my sensitivity to stimulus, like to stimuli. So like me spazzing out to the TTS is because I was hyper stimulated at the time and like easily sensitive to any type of stimuli, sounds, touch, or anything that like I could perceive. When I'm on the cocktail, it's like my brain is like turned down, like chilled out, and I become like tired and like unresponsive to a point where it's like I'm like knocked out like it's a roofie.
Hmm.
So like, but I realize like by being in that state of mind, I'm too drowsy, too sleepy, and not as fun and engaging. And like, I guess it'd be like Ian levels type of like chill to the point where it's like it's fine if it's just chilling out normally, but like for a reality show where it's built on like high octane drama and engagement and entertainment, it's not ideal. Like they need Alex B type energy.
Yeah.
So I
So
was I had to put myself in that mindset.
you would say mentally you were already at your lowest, like you were going through some really hard times, and then that kind
Yeah.
of just came in and made you just even more upset.
Yeah, because I didn't really get exactly what was going on. I didn't know. They said something about the branding thing, but like the issue was everyone was talking. I never mentioned this ad nauseum. Everyone was talking all so much at once. I couldn't make out what exactly was the issue with Brandon. All I saw was that they were pissing him for some reason that I couldn't make out. And then I was like, saw him that he was upset. I was like, oh, dude. Like I saw like a new person that I just connected with, all of a sudden crying and upset, and then saying he has to go home. I was like, what the fuck? He just get out of here. I'm like, I'm like, he's gonna like and we didn't have like official elimination at that point yet, so I didn't understand why I was leaving. And again, everyone's trying to say explain to me. I was like, what are you saying? Like, oh, they were saying so many things at once. So I was like, so I was just upset that he was like leaving because he was the only other queer person in the house besides me. And then like now he's gone, and like I'm back to being the only queer guy in the house again. So I was like,
Do you understand why like what he was doing
yeah,
was wrong now? Do you kind of understand like
yeah,
okay, cool.
that I actually get now. That I actually like they explained to me the TTS, and also like now when I got my phone back, I read it in more detail. The issue with the trans children and the drag queen thing. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
okay. Now that I fully read it and synthesized it, and now I see the pictures and the evidence, now it's making sense.
Okay, cool.
Yes. One of the things like with the TTS, it's audible only. I can't actually go online and research this shit myself. So I just have to either go what I'm hearing, or make a judgment call based on what I'm seeing in front of my face.
Mhm.
So this is one of the hardest things about like with it like living in a house where like I could have no access to the internet and couldn't research anything, is that I would have to take it all for what either the TTS is saying, what production is saying, or what the contestants are saying. Because like I have no way to verify if any of this shit is even true what they're telling me. I just have to take the word for it or just try to make a judgment call on my own using my common sense, which was kind of like already fucked by the fact that I was already hyper stimulated and like going through psychosis, and therefore I
Mhm.
wasn't in the proper state of like thinking clearly. It made for great entertainment, but like it really fucked up my ability to function, like have executive functioning and logical thinking skills. So there were times I did things that were kind of like really nonsensical. That was just as a result of me just being really insane and out of it. Not
Yeah.
necessarily like to like not necessarily as part of like a master plan or whatever. It's just like I was just reacting based on like how I was based on the stimuli around me.
Did you ever have any point in the show where you thought about leaving? Like genuinely?
Yeah. Um it was when Alex B left the house for good. Because in my mind, and also when I was like my planning, I want to me and Alex be the last two people standing, and I don't know how. And like if he won or I won, I would have been happy either way because someone I care about. Like if he won, I'll be so thrilled for him because like someone I cared about won, and like and he's like number one, and I could be as number two. Like it will make me happy. Or I win, he's my right hand man. That would make me happy. When he left, it's like, jeez, like that was the plan. Me and Alex, we always talked about me and him being one and two. It's like now he's gone. It's like I mean, like I was like, but it was like then it became more important for me to actually win this now because now that Alex was gone, like I have to win it in favor, like in his name, like for him, like because that was the plan. So that really upset me that he just left. I felt that if he was gonna be off the show, because either he got kicked out or got voted out. I never imagined in a million years that he would actually leave his own volition because he was talking endlessly how much he wanted to win this show and like be
Mhm.
number one. Like that's the thing that shocked me, the fact he would just leave like on
Yeah.
his own volition. Because yeah, I mean, like as a recovering, I used to be a gambler. I would have bet money that if Alex was gonna leave the house, it would either be through elimination, like through voting, or getting kicked out by
Hmm.
production, not actually leaving on his own. That's like I never imagined in a million years.
Yeah.
That was like a complete plot twist for me.
Very shocking. I agree. So there was no other point in the show where you thought about leaving,
Oh,
maybe when you were feeling really down?
oh yes. Oh yeah. The cell challenge. After that was done, I was completely like overwhelmed with out of like having like a psychotic break after at the end. The staying up, staying up pretty much all night, feeling really amped up, energetic, getting paranoid, like letting like my mental illness and psychosis like kind of overtake my thinking skills and becoming delusional to the point where it was like I understand I'm supposed to be like I went off my meds to be I went off my meds to be manic for entertainment value, but now it's like actually making me like legit crazy to where it's like it's not like act, it's like I'm actually becoming kind of nuts. So I'm noticing like what the fuck, like it's like I went off the medication just to like improve my natural energy levels. I didn't want full blown psychosis, so that's why I was like that night is like after the cell shots I just took the regular sleep stuff and got some high quality sleep and
Hmm.
try to reset myself to get myself back into like a normal state and then just adjust the medication protocol from there so I don't go completely batshit crazy again.
Yeah.
Because like I realized like well, it's fine to like be energetic for entertainment. Like I can't be completely insane to the point where it's like I can't think or reason properly or like do something problematic that'll get myself kicked off the show. Because that actually happened, I think, a few times where I was like, I got almost like violent, or like breaking glass or throwing things at people. Like this, like they had to like come, production had to come like kind of like chill me out, like prevent me from doing that. So like kind of like being restrained because I realized like I can't attack anyone with any dangerous object, and I realized I cannot attack a female at all because while the show is built on like shock value and problematic things, I cannot do anything that's insanely problematic that will turn off the audience.
Yeah.
Because I remember because the whole branding thing was like that's when I like for the first time in the time I was on Fishtank that someone else got higher endorsements than me, which was Luke, because he was like on the audience's side about the whole brand thing, and I was just kind of like not getting it or like clueless or whatever. Like, and then that's what I realized. Oh, okay. Like I have to do what the audience feels is best for me to do or what they want for me to do,
Hmm.
because I realized like having the highest number of endorsements was probably somehow key to winning this. I didn't get exactly how the endorsements worked, but I realized but whatever how it worked, it was important to have the highest, and somehow I had the highest until Luke came in. So I was trying to understand like how does that work? How does he? Because it confused me because like I didn't understand. Luke was just there for like a week in the first iteration, and the reboot he was just there for a day. Then all of a sudden he's automatically number one. I was like, I didn't get the logic of that. I was like, I've been there for like almost for 4 weeks at that point. Like so I was trying to like, understand how the game was working and the clans and the plushies and the rows. I thought they had meaning, significance, but clearly they. I realize now that like some of these gifts were just distractions to like interrupt the flow for comedic value. Like example, I can think of this. Um, Me and Kevin in the reboot, we were like parents, like co-parents to a doll. I named it Kelly, and I called myself Daddy Bert. He was Daddy Kevin. And as I was trying to argue with Alex Diamond, they kept sending like endless amount of donuts, one after the other, while trying to speak. It was like, to I was like wondering, what the are they like? It's like they're trying to. It's like this was like almost comedic. I understand,
Hmm.
like basically, like I could not get a single word in edgewise because I had to like get the donuts and say the thank you for the donuts, support Sticker Mule, support Zip. I appreciate you. Thanks. And then like I tried talking, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my god, what?" It's like the audience knew that I was trying. Like it's like they were doing this deliberately to fuck with me, to make me agitated and crazy because they like see me go spastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were in the cell alone with Symbol and you were both holding the fish, what were your thoughts during that? Like when you had to fight for your life, fight to win, what were your thoughts?
Yeah. I didn't want to like attack Sybil because I felt like that would not be great. Like, I didn't want to be problematic to the audience, but I didn't want to lose the challenge either. And also I didn't want to like in my crazy state of mind do anything nuts to like actually just hurt Sybil seriously because I realized that I could not do that. But I realized When I saw the blue balls, it something in me snapped. Like he was just collecting the blue balls specifically. While I was just organizing the balls just based on color in different parts
Hmm.
of the room. To be like, it's like it made me think like, oh my god, he knows something. Like he's a plant like Luke. Like, and I just got nuts. Like started attacking him because it's like he was. It was. I felt like it was like some type of deception, like gaslighting. Like Luke was a plant and didn't suspect it, even though I'm supposed to be good at reading people. I could tell people are lying in general. But I guess in that state of mind, it's like Sybil was collecting blue balls, and I remember thinking he was not in the Famous House promo. He's the only one with a foreign accent. He's the like he was the one that Luke attacked, which means we feel like he was also a co-actor with Luke, like as a plant, and like it just sounded like oh my god he's a plant. So like my and the Bing said that he was getting handsy with her. So all that combined along with sleep deprived psychosis made me want to go nuts and attack the shit out of him
Yeah.
because
I was
because I
rooting for
was
you. I did not want Symbol to win. I did
yeah
not. I was praying that you would team up with Binks to get out Symbol
yeah.
because I just
Uh,
wanted him to go. He was a tough competitor. He fought
yeah,
and he did end up winning that challenge. I was rooting
yeah.
for you though. But yeah, you did a great job. That's you continuously I think impressed people with not only your ability to be entertaining, but you're also ability to fight in these challenges. You really did always try your hardest, and I think it's really respectable of you.
I think my skill is like compared to most of the contestants is like endurance and energy. Because while everyone else gets tired as each of the challenges go on, I just get more amped up. So
Yeah.
like that was kind of like one of my strongest assets, like my like boundless maniacal energy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So when there was the fake ending after Goldberg and after Binks won, and then
yeah.
they put you in the RV, what did you think was next, and like, what did you think was gonna happen?
I didn't understand this RV shit we were doing. Um, I mean, until I saw a cowboy, I was like, "Oh, damn, he's hot." Okay, I'll just go along with it. I thought we were gonna like go to some type of like I don't know, like a new. I thought we were going to go to House Two. I know they kept saying House Two was bullshit, but they were like deliberately trying to gaslight me, thinking that it was possibly real. And then when we were like leaving the mansion to go on in the RV, I thought like, okay, we must be going to this new House Two because they said like the game is over. So I thought like it was going to continue like in another version in House Two, and I thought that's where we're going. But then we were in the RV for days and days, not really doing anything substantial, no real physical challenges because we were just cramped in a space with little room to move or dance or be engaging, with very little food, uncomfortable sleeping arrangements. And it's like, I was like, did this show jump the shark or something? Or is this like some unplanned make shit up as we go along type of thing? Because I realized it didn't make sense that we would just leave the mansion, which was already equipped to the bone with like security cameras and like the video cameras, the streaming, the TCS wired everywhere, and like rooms and like a production room where they could like send us like roses, plushies, donuts, handcuffs, spray guns, spray water sprays, uh, the shut up thing that Jeff kept wearing. It didn't make. It also like the thing also confused me the fact that the reboot like the fish up famous house 2.0 was supposed to last the last 2 weeks. I was planning on keeping up the whole mind wipe ruse for the full 2 weeks, and at the end when I was like the last person standing, reveal that I was like surprise, fake it the whole time as like the big plot twist in the end of the series to really like give like a dramatic plot twist conclusion. That was the plan I had. So then all of a sudden, the fourth day, everyone was kicked. Everyone just left the house for whatever reason, like reasons that just seemed completely like weirdly random. And then after 4 days, Famous House 2.0 was officially done, and then we're just in the house, just me, Binks, Peyton, and I think and Tank, Chris, and Luke. We were
So
just
so
yeah.
when Peyton left and I came right in, what were your initial thoughts?
I was like, what the fuck? I did not expect. First of all, I did not expect for Payne to leave at all. I
Hmm.
thought she was gonna be a final two with me, like me and her, because I feel like we would have the most interesting contrast because I'm a 36-year-old African male from like an urban city in New Jersey, while she's a 19-year-old white female. lesbian from the country town in Texas, and the contrast would be like interesting dynamic about like the two people were just completely different in every way, like battling out somehow in the challenge or whatever to like to show who's gonna be number one.
Hmm.
I thought that was how it's gonna play out because to me that seems like the most interesting comparison, like contrast. Initially, me and Alex were gonna do this because like I'm like a black urban male from Jersey. He's kind of like a spoiled, like playfully spoiled rich white boy type of
Yeah.
thing. And we're best friends in the show. So like that, I thought it'd be like a dramatic type of like conclusion, like basically bro against bro, two different backgrounds who bonded, and now we have to defeat each other. So I thought that was like going to be like an interesting little like dramatic build up to the final conclusion. But and then me and Peyton, I was like, okay, that actually works out great too. But then it's like me and Base, I was like, how would that work? We're both like similar age, we're both neurodivergent, and she's also color like Latina, and I'm like, it's like it didn't seem like a like I mean compared to like me and Peyton, that would be better. Me and Big seemed like it seemed not as ideal to me. I was like wondering what this all like. I was wondering like what happened. Did she leave? That's what I was thinking. Like, did she leave on purpose and they just came up with this whole elimination chocolate bullshit to try to like give her a reason to leave? Because it seemed like this was something they planned early on or something with the
Yeah.
whole driving us to Texas, be in that hotel room for hours with no direction, no challenges, no missions. We just sitting there,
Yeah.
the camera face us just doing nothing.
I was
Everyone's just kind of
waiting from. I was there the day before that,
oh
waiting actually in the hotel, just
oh.
waiting for the word to come. Once they, I guess, sent her, they wanted me to come in right after, and it's crazy because I didn't know for sure that's what was going to happen because when they called me and they asked me if I could come to Dallas. And I was like, yeah, for sure, of course.
Oh,
But I didn't know why. And then I kind of started thinking about it, and I was like, I had a feeling that maybe they were gonna do something like that. And right before I came, I was told that someone was watching the live stream and that she had just got like eliminated.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Missy, it was like a little like a shock to my heart. Like I didn't expect to see you at all in the last few days we were in the contract of Fishtank, because like at first like oh god, like I was like scared because like you guys maybe like since you left the show, so you watched the wherever this was streaming and like you saw that I voted you out and said some stuff and did some shit after you left, and I was like oh fuck me because like and then like I was like did you I was like at first I was getting paranoid like did you do something to Payne to make her leave and then that's why you're here, like I was like genuinely confused because like I remember Ian left but then he came back for one day and then left. I thought like is Sybil gonna come back too because I realized you and um Ian came back after being voted off through elimination,
Hmm.
and Sybil was the third one to be voted off through elimination. So I thought maybe in the finale or near the finale he was gonna like come back too. Um, Speaking of which, the finale, me being stranded in the desert was like a kind of like a weird ending that I didn't expect. I was
What did you feel about when you were left in the desert initially? Were you scared? How are you feeling in those moments?
I was confused as fuck because apparently I got a check that was $0, and I was like okay, and then like 20 grand of Sam's money was gonna be donated to that Las Vegas tunnel system. I was like okay, like I didn't we like it seemed kind of like random since we just like you just went there for like a few hours just like the day before, and now we're just saying donate $20,000 of his own money to that, but I get nothing. I'm like, what? Because like, and then like I was stranded in the desert. I was getting like literally cold, and then they're just driving away. Like they're gonna come back, right? They're not just like leaving here. But I was getting progressively more cold, and they were just going, and it was like for like almost like a full blown 20 minutes. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting fucking cold. I was like ranting, complaining, like what the fuck. Like I was like, okay, huh, I get it. This is like not funny. Like this is funny, huh? Like we got like jokes over. Like come back. I'm literally cold right now. And then Vance came by. He was just filming me. I just awkwardly said like, "This is not a sexual thing, Vance. Can we just like cuddle so I can stay warm?" And he looked disgusted. I'm like, I'm literally just fucking cold, man. I just need a warm body to like to get warm because like as a man with a vitamin D deficiency, I get cold easily.
Yeah.
Like that's
Were
like
you,
one of my oh yeah, I'll say that's like one of my most like a physical like thing of mine where it's like I can handle like noxious fumes, bad smells, unhealthy, unhygienic environments, and I'll endure energy for long periods of time. But cold environments takes me the fuck out.
were you scared at all during the ride in the desert? And then when you
Oh
got
yeah,
left,
that
were you scared like the way that they were looking at you and they how they weren't talking? Like, did you ever have like kind of a thought of like, oh my god, is something bad gonna happen to me?
I mean, I thought like there was like there was a good like it was a challenge like to somehow find my way back to the RV or the hotel or God forbid back to Jersey from this random desert wasteland. I was thinking, like, oh, please don't let that be the challenge to actually get the grand prize or whatever. Like this is just insanity. I have no phone. I'm freezing cold and like I don't have anything to like do. But then they were just like gone for like 10 minutes. I was like, and I was like, is that the show? The show's over? Seriously? That? So like they finally came back. I was getting really annoyed and kind of like I was like, what is this? Like I felt like I wanted the finale to like be like maybe like all the contestants and freeloaders who like left the mansion all of a sudden came back together as like a grand celebration at a big dance party and where I'm the winner and I get to see everyone again, including like Ted, Smack, Alexis, LaRon, Alex, B, and even the new people that left and then came back. I thought it was gonna be like a big that was like so I was like kind of like expecting like a big grand celebration with all the people that I met, even the one time people like Gene or like that Wyatt guy from the Cell Challenge who was there for that one day, like, or hopefully Prisoner number three, because I kept mentioning Prisoner number three frequently, hoping that they could track him down and come back for the finale. But so this was kind of like, to be perfectly honest, a really high key letdown in terms of finale, because I was expecting like a big bonanza. Especially since we had that Ballsburg concert with the people in Vegas, with all the fans in Vegas, like cheering me on. Like to me, I was like, I thought maybe retrospect to like the desert ending, that should have been the ending. Like the big balls were a concert and all the fans cheer me on. Like I feel like that would have like to me a more satisfying ending for me. But being stranded in the desert with like a $0 check, um, like it is in the it just seemed like what the fuck. I
Yeah.
mean, so like I was kind of like in a somewhat sour mood because like this is like kind of like a low key letdown in terms of finale. It didn't seem like a when I was thinking like the big finale, considering how wild, high octane this show has been so far with this over the top theatrics, I was expecting something like really over the top, and this seemed kind of like what? So like,
So are you sad that you don't have the 50 grand? And if you did have
um,
the 50 grand, were you actually going to split it? And how were you going to split that up? Was it actually
like
based
that's
on engagement or
yeah, like I was trying to like I was trying to like look rich. I wanted to like research like the people who the audience felt was like the most engaging in the house and kind of like split it among like the level of engagement the audience believed or level of engagement or like likability the audience felt for each contestant. Um, I was going to do the original 12, but then we had those freeloaders come in, which made it complicated. And then the reboot, the new people came in, and then G was trying to get me to do production as well. I was like, does that like count? Because they're already getting paid. I assume they're getting paid some type of rate or whatever. I was like, okay, fine, production. But then he said like at the homeless people too. I was like, at first like, is he fucking with me? Because like, if I split among all the people, it's like there'll be nothing left for each one. There'll be very little left for each one. So where it was like, it doesn't seem worth it to split among those people. Like basically, like I was like gonna like probably default to like the original split among like 12, the original 12, or like that's why like I wanted to do the analytics of like the audience engagement with each contestant freeloader to like make an accurate decision, but then like they wouldn't. It's like, no, you have to do this right now. As I was like kind of put on the spot, I was like trying to like do the math in my head, and then they end up not giving me the money anyway. So I was like, was this just bullshit? That was like I was kind of like low key surprised. I mean, a part of me in early on suspected like the like one of the plot twists like there was gonna be no money at the end. Like basically like we're gonna be no there's gonna be no money. that the fish books were bullshit and that the poker chips were bullshit and like basically
So the fish
everything
books
we're
are
doing.
real though. Those are real.
Yeah, yeah, that they say that's real.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that the plan was with the gambling. If they did double it, the prize was going to be double. But they did lose it, so I guess that's why it's zero. Uh, who were
yeah,
your, who were you going to give the most money to out of the 12?
based on what I can research online, um, it the audience believes that the